Today is Saturday, February 22nd, 2025. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our JABBIC Part 2 for Survivor 48.
That's right. And that's our JABBIC intro music on the grill by Madsumo. That's a tradition for us because we're grilling us up some new castaways here in our JABBIC shows. Judge a book by its cover. In some cases, superfans will take a look at the roster, take a look at the castaways picture and go, yes or no, thumbs up, thumbs down, to decide how well they think they're going to do in this next season. We don't have a whole lot of information to go on. There's their bios. We covered those in JABBIC Part 1 earlier this week. And now we're at JABBIC Part 2, where we check in with the superfans, see what they're thinking about this new cast, how they think these castaways are going to do, who their favorites are, and who might be the first voted out. Anything we need to cover? I think we got, 15?
15?
Yeah, 15 super fans checking in for today's episode.
Plus, Anderson's paying his debt.
Yes, his JSFL side challenge debt. And we will get to that at the end.
Yes, we look forward to that.
Okay, first up, we got a call from Pete.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pete from Boston here. Happy 2025, and Survivor is back. Wow, 48. Here we go. Woo! And surprise, surprise, more newbies. So let me dive into it. I'll be quick here. Okay, so the green team here, Lulu. Okay, Stephanie, I think, seems okay. She could be a socialite, maybe a girly girl, but I like her a little bit. She might go close to the merge. Sai, I think, could be an interesting character. When I saw her interviews, for some reason, maybe because of her smile, she reminded me of Marianne. Not saying she's going to win or get that far, but she looks like she has big spirit. I don't know, I think Mary's going to be rubbed the wrong way. I'm not sure. Cedric could be annoying. I mean, he's, I think, the oldest one on that tribe. He's the doctor. Although also, he may be someone that looks after them, too, so he could be likable. Kevin seems like he's happy-go-lucky. I know he talked about Yule in his interview from Cook Island. And my homeboy, Justin. But I think, honestly, I'm pulling for him because he's right down the street from me in Winthrop, Mass. But I don't know if he'll make it far. He seems goofy looking. I don't know how good his social game is either. I wouldn't be surprised if he's first out, if the green loses. Now, the purple team, Lagi, I like Star, seemed pretty good. I loved her, and maybe she was more like Marianne with her energy and enthusiasm. Bianca seemed good. I liked her as an Italian-American. I liked hearing her story. Joe seems like the typical Joe challenge beast, just like Joe from Worlds Apart. But I think that's all he'll offer is being a physical beast. Eva, I don't know much about Eva, what she'll offer. Thomas, I think, will be the villain. You got to watch out for him, the schemer. And this guy, Shaheen, I think you got to watch out for him, too. He seems like one of the smartest players this season and seems like a schemer. Almost reminds me of Max from Worlds Apart. I know Max didn't make it far, but he seems to know a lot about the game. And quickly, the orange team, I think David will be okay. Camellia seems like she'll be a social player. Kyle seems like he's happy-go-lucky. Mitch, I think, is going to have a hard time because of his speech issue. It reminds me of, I remember Chrissy from Amazon, Chrissy Smith with the deaf woman. That's what Mitch reminds me of, but only with speaking. I like Charity, the flight attendant there. I think she's going to be a fun player to watch. For some reason, I had D vibes with her a little bit, but I could be wrong. Or Emily vibes as well. And then Chrissy might have a hard time because she's the oldest one, and she better not be bossy. I think she could be like what Sue was last season, make it to the end and not get any votes, too. So we'll see, guys. I like this cast. Should be a great 2-hour premiere next week. Curious to see what all the twists will be. Now, 47 was a real good season. I hope 48 can top it. Hoping for a great season. Take care, baby. Woo.
Woo. All right. Way to bring it, Pete. Yeah, I maybe if Chrissy can find someone like Sue did that'll tuck them under their wing.
Well,
because she's a broken bird.
That's exactly what I thought till I started hearing the other people talk about, yeah, that lady, the mom lady, I like her. I want to work
mom
with
energy.
her. Of course, they hadn't met her yet,
Right.
but there were several people that really singled her out when they weren't even allowed to talk to each other.
Right.
And thought she'd be fun and be somebody they'd like to work with. So, who knows?
Yeah, good deal. Thanks.
Did you see anything on I never read any of the stuff that said anything about the new season and any twists, or did you see anything?
No, there wasn't anything out yet that, at least that I've seen on that. Just there was a special on the new Tribal Council set and the backstory there. Jeff was in love with that because of the way the art department treated it, and there was the art department's kind of worked in some Easter eggs around eyes, so they want you looking for eyes everywhere in the background of things, on the side of things.
Okay.
But
They do
it's
have
not
an
like
awesome
there's
art department.
yes,
Always have.
yeah.
So.
Well, and they came up with a whole backstory for there's this civilization from hundreds of years ago, and that's the origin. That's what's going on with the Tribal Council set. But in terms of actual game twists, I didn't see anything unique or new. If it tracks like the previous seasons, there won't be an auction on this one because Jeff made out last time they did an auction in 45. He was talking about the reasons they couldn't do it in 46. Well, we got one again in 47. So there's a chance we won't get an auction in 48.
Okay.
So nothing special yet, but EW.com and Mike Bloom over at Parade, they still drop things along the way right up to the premiere. So there might be something new still coming. Good stuff. Thanks, Pete. Next up, we got an email from Tara in New York. Hello again, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor friends. First off, a big congrats to Joanne and Stacy for 20 years of great podcasting about our favorite show. Thank you.
Woohoo.
Your dedication is amazing and continues to make the show even better for all of us. I think
that's sweet, Tara.
we do that together. It takes a tribe here at Survivor Fans Podcast to make that possible.
Yep.
I'm so excited for season 48, but having a bit more trouble getting a read on this cast compared to last season.
Me too.
Yes, we had the same feeling, Tara.
Yes, exactly.
I loved your JABBIC show and agreed with a lot of your takes, except maybe that Siva will be in trouble out of the gate. If they have a puzzle person, I think they could even be safe until the merge approaches with the physical strength of David, Mitch, Kyle, and Chrissy.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility.
I just couldn't get off of the whole thing that Camilla was going to be the first to go. That's the only reason.
Yeah, they have the...
I don't know why.
Like Tara's talking about, they've got the physicality to power through a lot, and there's generally a lot of physical elements in the early challenges, the early tribe challenges. But yeah, it'll come down to the puzzle if they goof that or not, blow the lead they may end up with. If they lose early, Charity or Spunky Camilla might be in trouble. I could see a group forming with the big guys and Chrissy based on physical strength alone. I really hope not, though, because I think Camilla is a really funny character and will be hilarious in confessionals. She is tracking that way early, isn't she? To me, Lagi seems like the most fun tribe to watch in a crazy, disastrous Tika sort of way. Nice reference. Star alone is a one-woman show, so I hope she lasts just to see her on my screen. She gives me Carolyn vibes from season 44, so I could see her in that role. I'm looking at Beard Guy Shaheen or maybe even Thomas for my USB just because they seem so fun. I do wonder if Joe will fit in with all these big personalities, though. Also, Bianca might be seen as a dangerous gamer, and I could see her going out first if they lose early. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Me too.
If Loggy isn't a complete mess, Vula seems like the weakest tribe to me. I really like Justin and Mary. I keep changing my mind on Stephanie, thinking she will either be loved or hated. Kevin seems really arrogant, and I can see him clashing with his tribe mates, especially Sai. But they will probably keep him for strength. As a result, Sai might be in trouble, so I may pick her as my first vote off. I'll most likely change my mind 10 times, but right now I have Shaheen, Mary, Justin, and Thomas as my final 4. I'd like to add Camilla, but I worry for her and that tribe. I might just pick Beard Guy as my USB for the fun of it. He certainly got the Charisma Awards early on, and perception and charisma go a long, long way in the game.
Of course, they had never talked to him, though, right?
Right. Since I'm pretty much clueless, I can't wait to hear everyone chime in with their thoughts. I've missed hearing from all of you every week. Also, a big thank you to Paul for the roster. As always, my crinkled paper copy is such a big help while I watch these interviews. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy, and once again, a big congrats and cheers to another 20 seasons. You're the best. Thanks, Tara. Great job. Next up, we got a call from Robert.
Hey, Joanne, Stacy, and Survivor fans. This is Robert from Canada calling in. I was very excited to see your podcast drop this week, and it was great to hear your voices once again. I'm very excited for this season of Survivor. I'm optimistic because it's going to be a great one, and I'm really looking forward to hearing all the other fans and hear what kind of JABBIC predictions they have for this season. So here are some of my thoughts on how I see things playing out. Like you guys, when I went to go make picks for this season, I found myself gravitating a lot more towards picking the men as opposed to the women, which I think is the first time in the new era. I always find I'm really able to find women I think that are going to do well and not as much the men, but for this season it was the opposite. So my top 3 picks for this season of players I think that are going to do well are Kevin, Charity, and Kyle, and I'd like to give honorable mentions to both Joe and Shaheen. I think I will likely end up going with either Kevin or Kyle or possibly Shaheen. Kevin was my first pick, so I'm tempted to stick with that, but I really like Kyle. And Shaheen's a bit strange, and he certainly says some odd things, but he came across as extremely charismatic and likable in his interview. And he even got the producer sort of asking him questions, and we've seen previous seasons where sometimes, that might indicate that a player does well. So, I don't know, he's really charismatic, and I think he's a great wild card pick, so depending what other people think, maybe I'll end up picking him for my USB as well. For my bottom 3 picks, I got Sai, Stephanie, and Chrissy. I think one of them will likely be my first vote off. And I also want to give honorable mentions to Bianca and Thomas. I think all those players have personalities or quirks that can make them kind of abrasive or affect how they otherwise work with their tribe mates in the game. For my other predictions this season, I do think it'll end up having a male winner. I think the pizza guy Justin is not going to make it far enough in the game to be able to get a pizza reward, which I think is probably better for him. And I think that we're going to see all the men this season really work really well together, as opposed to the women who I think aren't going to be able to come together and form alliances. And I see women being targeted right off the hop, but we'll see how it plays out. And that's it for me, and I look forward to hearing all the other fans' JABBIC predictions, and hopefully we're in for a great season of Survivor. You guys just take care.
Awesome. Thanks, Robert. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Rebecca.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Rebecca calling for my JABBIC feedback. I really don't have a lot to offer yet. I listened to your show, and besides that, I have been consumed with my French class, and suddenly the other day I got a terrible rash, so I've been on prednisone and Benadryl and feeling kind of fuzzy. But I have looked at the roster, listened to your show, and that's about it. But I do have a couple of people that I feel like a kind of attraction to that I'd like to consider as maybe a USB. I like Mitch on the Steva tribe. I think I just like him because the speech impediment, trying so hard to get on the show for so long. He's also in my age demographic. Just kind of have a warm feeling for him. I also like, how do you pronounce his name? This is on the Lagi tribe. Shaheen, the guy with the beard. Reasons for liking him are even a little weirder. I like him because he was an alternate who didn't play, and so was Rachel, and then she won. So, and also people have kind of a warm feeling towards him. And on the Vula tribe, not really feeling it for anybody yet. I'm going to have to do some more examination. So I am on O'ahu for the winter with my job, and the aforementioned hives, we believed I had a crazy allergic reaction because the mosquitoes only bite me. Could be 5 of us in a room, and they will only go after after me, and they think my body had a crazy histamine reaction, which ended up with hives all over my body, and we're still getting rid of them, but I've been kind of out of it for a couple of days. Having a good time. I've been doing a lot of North Shore biking. I even got to see the surf contest. I posted a video of it on our page. That was amazing. So happy that the show is back and the podcast is back. As Joanne said, it's great to be together again. I got some homework to do to figure out who my USB is going to be. I hope everybody gives really good feedback on the JABBIC Part 2 because I need direction. Okay. Thank you, guys. Have a great Saturday. I am going to go walk to the farmer's market now.
Awesome. Thanks for checking in, Rebecca. Hope you feel better.
Yeah.
Next up, we got an email from Becca and family in South Carolina.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. Hi, Survivor fans. After a quick glance at the cast bios, so quick that we only read the names, ages, and hometowns on most of them, we made our judgments as to who would be out early, who would make it somewhere around the middle, and who would last long in the game. We unanimously agreed that David, Kevin, Charity, and Mary are last longs. That's 4, so we'll say that's our final 4 predictions.
All right.
My husband David says David is sure to be the winner based only on his name. Caroline thinks he's so bumpy, but didn't specify whether that makes him a shoo-in for victory or not. Liam's pick is Kevin. Who did you say was 5'1"? That's who I want to win because I think shorties should support shorties, unless it's Camilla, because I think her first tribal council will be her last.
And
yes, it was
indeed Camilla at 5'1".
Our unanimous out earlies are Stephanie, Cy, Camilla, and Chrissy. Barring any major personality issues, we'll be cheering for Cedric since we now live in South Carolina, and Kyle since we have some residual Kyle love from last season.
Oh, nice reference.
Yes, we're excited to watch this season, Becca and family. All right, thanks, Becca.
And family.
Yes, all of you, Caroline, David,
job.
and Liam.
Yeah, good job. Next up, we got a call from Drew.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. Hey, everyone. This is Drew. So I'm heading into work. I got a really, really busy Saturday. I know if I do not send in my JABBIC right now, I will completely forget, just like I did for... actually what happened with the finale of the last season is that I didn't even watch the finale until I didn't have a single minute at home to watch it until after the JABBIC or the JABBIC had been collected and probably aired. Or produced. So yeah, I did of course keep up and follow up. It was just a really busy season, so I am looking forward to being able to watch Survivor a little bit more in regular time this season. And Charlie and Adelaide, I'm sure you can imagine, are pretty excited too. So awesome. Without further ado, all I got for you right now is a hello, a welcome back. I would like to go ahead and put my name in since I am going to be more involved, I'd like to put my name in the side challenge this season officially. And I looked at I already forgot. I looked at, Bianca, Joe, Cy, and Chrissy. I looked at the roster. I did listen to your JABBIC Part 1, but the names don't really mean as much. You start to piece it together, but once you start to see their faces and put the names with them. So those are my final 4 based almost 100% on just looking at them, I should say. And I'm going to say maybe Cy for the win. I don't know. That's not my final answer, but I will go ahead and put that at least in the JABBIC just based on, like I said, solely on first appearances, first impressions. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it. I did want to just make your job real easy today even though it is on Saturday, it's also going to be real short and hopefully not much editing. So hope everyone has a great weekend. Welcome back to Survivor, but also to JSFL. And by JSFL, I mean Survivor Fans Podcast. You guys, that's what this Saturday morning is tonight. So yeah, talk to you soon. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks for checking in. Making some picks there, Drew. We look forward to having you be able to participate more this season. Next up, we got a call from Parker.
Hey, it's Parker from Indiana, and I'm super excited about Survivor coming back very soon for season 48. And we got a fun cast, I think. And it's a good mix of age. It's a good mix of super fans and non-super fans. I know some people don't like that, but sometimes recruits are good. Sometimes super fans are bad. We've had some pretty good examples of that in the new era when they're casting just super fans. But yeah, obviously, do I want somebody out there who's preaching loyalty and then kind of just ruins the game for everybody else because they won't play, but somebody who goes out there and kind of learns from the experience how to play the game. Sometimes we get some really solid players from that. A lot of the early big players were like that. Like, you think Parody was a super fan? No. I'm excited about the season. There's a couple people on my end for my USB. I like Kyle. I like Cedric. I really like Joe. And I'm very tempted to pick Joe, but can he win? I don't think so. But he seems like such a good guy that I want to pick him. And then I like Say. I think she could be good. I like Mary, too. She seems fun. And she also cites Ben as her winner that she wants to go with, play like. But not because of the idols or stuff, like what he's remembered for, but for when he was being a double agent, like a secret, feeding information from one of the lines to the other, playing spy there. And that's when Ben was at his best in Triple H, not when he was towards the end finding the idols and just surviving with whatever, but when he was like actually playing socially in that part of the game, the early merge. Yeah, heck yeah, Mary, bring that energy, because that was great. And then there's some people that I'm like, I don't know. Mitch is great guy, but I don't know. Like, I think he'll make the merge, but I don't know if he'll be able to make it to the end, because people are going to be like, no, we can't let this guy get there. It's like Ethan Zahn coming back in Winners at War. People with that big of a story, that it's just not possible for them to get to the end. And then Eva, I admire that she wants to come out there and be an inspiration for people and everything like that. But not to sound super mean, but with autism comes lack of social awareness, and she admits to that, and Survivor is a social game, and so that's kind of scary for her. I hope she figures it out, but she seems like a very confident person, so even if she trips up out there, I don't think it's going to affect her in life, really. Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. And then David, I want there to be more to David, but I don't know. I don't know. And then Star seems like a very nice person, but she is so loud. Her interview, I was, oh my gosh, I need to skip this one. It's too much. It was too much. Yeah, it was crazy. But man, I don't know. I feel like I should go with like Cedric, because I feel like he'll be more low key, but I want to go with Joe, man. I want to go with Joe. We'll see. But yeah, that's all I got. I will see you all next time.
Excellent. Thanks, Parker. Yeah, Probst was comparing Joe to The Rock. I don't think he's that big, though.
The Rock?
Yeah. I don't think Joe's like really tall. There's a lot to him. There's obviously a lot of muscle mass to him.
Well, I guess you can't really tell in the pictures, but I didn't think he was that tall either. But
yeah, he just doesn't strike me as Jonathan big, the way Jonathan dominated challenges just because of his physicality.
I don't think anybody's Jonathan big.
No, but he was talking about David too. So I think maybe he was like relative to himself or something. I don't know where that was coming from.
Wherever.
Yeah. Thanks, Parker. Good job, bud. Next up, we got an email from Jack in California. I feel like we have an interesting and fun cast for 48, and here are my thoughts on them based on the EW bios.
Right.
That's just the bios from the press release site, by the way, Jack. Starting with the Siva tribe, we have Charity, and I think she would be good at challenges, but could also get on people's nerves, so I have her as no merge. Chrissy, I think, will struggle out there, and between her and Joe, I do think Joe has a better chance of going far, but I do think she could also make the merge. So you're like saying between the two firewomen. David seems fairly confident in his abilities. That's an understatement, Jack. Maybe a bit too confident. There we go. But I also I see him making the merge. For Camilla, I found her reasoning to be too out there to be interesting, but I see her not doing well and have her as no merge. Maybe the first out on this tribe, which leaves Kyle and Mitch. Kyle I have as no merge, and you think this tribe's going to get decimated. Really? Kyle I have as no merge, and I also feel like Mitch may have trouble communicating out there because of his speech impediment. But I do hope and kind of want to see him do well for myself out there.
For himself.
For himself, sorry. Translated that, didn't I? I do think he will be a no-merge contestant, though, and also maybe another one of the early boots, unfortunately. Moving on to the Lagi tribe, we have Bianca first, and I like her attitude a lot and could see her go far, so maybe she could be one of the finalists. I really want to see Eva do well, being a person with autism, and I feel like she can. I believe her to be the first autistic Survivor player, and I feel like I would be able to relate to her story quite a bit, being a person with a disability myself. So I look forward to seeing her journey. I will probably expand on myself with her story down the line this season when they explore hers more. Oh, cool. Look forward to hearing that, Jack. For Joe, he seems like a very likable guy and a strong contestant, so I can see him maybe in the final 5. I'm leaning heavily towards having Shaheen as my USB this year, but haven't decided on that for sure just yet. He seems like a great person, and I could see him being a great roundabout player. I could see Marianne-like qualities in Star, and I do believe that she will be a character out there at least. I don't have a great read on Thomas at the moment.
He was tough for me, too.
This leads to the Vula tribe, and we start with Cedric. I can see him having a strong personality out there and would be great at challenges, but I see him as a no-merge. I think the island and the conditions will get to Justin, and I see him as a possible first out on this tribe.
Really?
Kevin is from Livermore, which is not far from where I live, so I'm cheering for him to do well, and if he makes the merge, I think he and Eva could pair up and make it pretty far together for some reason. Mary has a really unique backstory and history, so I think she can make it to the merge if she plays her cards right. Sai is no merge for me, and I can see Stephanie make it to the merge. All in all, this does seem like a nice mixture of people and will be fun to see how it plays out, but I do feel like Siva could struggle in the challenges, and I'm leaning towards Camilla being first out at this point with my USB options including Kevin, Eva, Shaheen, Joe, David, and Bianca. We shall see. Yes, I think that's a tribe there. Yeah. We shall see who I decide to go for on that and let the competition begin once again. All right. Thanks, Jack. Next up, we got a call from Justin.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy and all the Survivor Super fans. It's Justin from Michigan. First off, congratulations, Joanne and Stacy, on 20 years of podcasting. That's a huge accomplishment. You're almost ready to collect your pension, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully you're all getting settled in now that you've made your move, and hopefully everything's going well. Happy to hear from you. So going through this 48 cast, I've done a lot of research and listening to all their interviews, and I'm not anywhere closer to pinpointing who I think's going to win, but I did make some picks. We'll see how they go. So first off, I think Charity is going to be my pick. I just think if Siva loses this first challenge, I think she'll be pinpointed. She and Stephanie were mentioned quite a few times in the pregame first impression interviews. So Charity, Stephanie, Mary, they were my first off, but I'm going to go with Charity. I think Lagi is the strongest pre-merge tribe. I just think they're well-rounded. They have the strength. It seems like they have the intelligence. I think they will come out with the most members. Final 4, I have Cedric, Justin, Bianca, and Camilla. So I think Cedric and Justin, I think they're the most even-keeled guys out there. I think they can skate through. Yeah, I think they're well-rounded. Bianca, super fan. She might make too much noise, but if she plays her cards right, she could sneak all the way to the end. So I do like Bianca. And Camilla, I don't really have a huge reason for this. I just think she's not gonna, if she doesn't go early, she'll just kind of float through to the end. So those are my final 4. I'm curious how Mitch and Eva will navigate their challenges they're coming in with. Mitch with his speech impediment and Eva with her autism. I think if they can navigate that and use it to their advantage, be open and honest about it, build connections. Everybody knows somebody with those type of challenges. If they can connect with people that way, I think they have a chance to go far, but ultimately probably fall short. Kevin would be my pick as the number 1 post-merge target. I think he's likable. He's, again, well-rounded. He's strong, smart. So if he can sneak to the end, he could win. I just think he's going to be kind of in that Caleb role where right at the merge or right before the merge, they're going after him. So those are all my first impressions. This cast seems pretty polarizing. It seems like everybody, you could kind of pick on each person and say, okay, I really like this about them, really don't like this about them. So everybody, I think, is going to have various opinions, and that's why I'm looking forward to whatever everybody else has to say. Take care.
Excellent. Thanks, Justin. I like that analysis. Next up, we got a call from Lori.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy and all Survivor fans. This is Lori from Florida calling. I'm going to try to do some more feedback this year. Longtime listener, frequent player in JSFL, but never quite done too well in that. But JABBIC feedback, I think Charity's going to be the first one out. She looked kind of annoying. My final four, I think, is going to be Kevin, Eva, Kyle, and I really like Shaheen. I'm picking him as my winner pick, and unless I hear something in the next few days, probably will pick him as my winner in JSFL too. Thanks again for everything. Hope to hear lots of good information from my fellow listeners. Bye.
Great job.
All right. Thanks, Lori. You know, I really kind of like Shaheen too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to seeing him play, and I don't know whether he can win or not win, and I don't know who could, because I never know. But I'm still he's in the back burner of my mind, along with Kyle. And
getting a lot of takes on him with the feedback here.
Yeah, Kevin, I think, is a lot more emotional than like Justin and Cedric seem to be pretty solid. So I don't know. I'm thinking they might do well. I think they will keep Kevin because of his strength, but I keep looking at all the different ones. Of course, we're sitting here looking at the roster, but I really kind of do like Shaheen, so I'm not surprised at people wanting to pick him.
Yeah, yep. Whatever they saw in 46, I'm glad he wasn't in 46. I'm very hopeful about his chances in 48. So, yep, looking forward to that. Thanks again, Lori. Good job. Next up, we got an email from Mary in Maryland.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor fans. It's great to be back together again. I enjoyed watching the Mike Bloom interviews with the contestants and hearing your thoughts on JABBIC Part 1. Overall, I like this cast, and I'm interested to watch several of them play. As always with JSFL, I'm torn between choosing my favorite contestant as USB or who I think actually has the best chance of winning.
Yes, the long-running dilemma.
That is always a dilemma for me. For now, I've chosen Mary as my USB. I'm not exactly sure why. I just had the instinct that she would be able to lay low and be crafty when needed. She seems like a smart, well-traveled person who is used to communicating with all kinds of people as a social worker.
Right.
I might change my mind after hearing everyone else's feedback. My favorite contestants who I want to do well are Justin and Cedric. They both seem like such solid, smart, friendly people who I would want to get to know in real life. They also seem relatively fit, but not so fit that they stand out too much. Yeah, I think they can be under the radar more because of that. Other players who seem interesting are Shaheen, Kyle, Eva, and Kevin. They seem to have a mix of skills and personality that I'm interested in seeing how well they fit in with their tribes. Players I think will go home early. I really like Star, but I feel like she will stand out too much. I get the sense that Joe may not act too dad-like and turn some people off. I'm not sure how well Thomas will do with the game overall, although he does seem like someone who could lie and be sneaky. Yeah, I think so too. Sai seems like someone who might rub people the wrong way and not be able to keep her thoughts to herself.
Yeah, that last part, I feel that vibe.
Yeah. The only players I really did not connect with are not looking forward to seeing on my screen are Stephanie and Bianca. I had a hard time even finishing watching their interviews. I find their manner of speaking so off-putting. Although I remember feeling the same way about Kenzie during her preseason and ended up really liking her by the end. Looking forward to hearing from all of you each week. I think it will be fun to go back and look at these predictions when the season is over and see how far off I might have been.
It will be.
Yes. We do that too.
Yeah.
We enjoy that.
We keep
It's
our
like,
printouts from our JABBIC notes
Yeah.
right near us, and we check them each week
We're
with who
like,
gets voted
yep,
out.
wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh.
Way off course. Yeah.
It's like, hey, I got one.
Right. Good stuff. Thanks, Mary. Next up, we got a call from Jeremiah.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy. Hello, Survivor friends. Jeremiah here with my JABBIC predictions for season 48. First, let me start off by congratulating you both for 20 years doing this podcast.
Thank you.
What an accomplishment. I, of course, been listening myself since 2008, so I've been along for the ride for almost all of it, and I just love this podcast so much. You two, and of course this community, means so much to me. It's pretty much second family to me as far as I'm concerned. But such an awesome accomplishment, and of course Survivor itself is getting ready to film its 50th season, so many milestones are happening in the Survivor world. So let's get on with talking about this new cast of Survivor players. Two big things struck me when I went through the cast. One of them, of course, is the fact that it's a very old cast. The average age of this particular cast is much higher than some of the other seasons we've had recently, and I kind of like that. I'm hoping that maybe that means we'll get some more mature players. Now, then again, I say that, and we have a lot of big characters on this season as well, and sometimes characters can be hit or miss. Obviously, I love good TV. I don't just want good gameplay. I want a good mixture of lots of drama and fun things for us to talk about, but I also want to see people who really know how to play the game. I know, I ask for a lot, but can this cast deliver? There are a few players in particular that I'm intrigued by. Players like Shaheem, who was an alternate last season, and everyone was talking about them during the preseason stuff. How is he going to perform? Will he do something like Rachel did? Because I think we all remember Rachel was an alternative. But overall, I think I'm going to like this cast. But I've been fooled before in having similar feelings about other casts, and they turned out to be a big disaster. So let's get on to these tribes. We have 3 tribes, of course. I'm just going to say orange, purple, and green until I learn these names properly. Our orange tribe, which I think is easily going to be our strongest tribe, I only have Mitch not making the merge because I don't see them going to tribal council very often. On the purple tribe, I only have Star and Eva not making the merge. And on the green tribe, I have 3 people not making the merge. I think Mary, Kevin, and Justin, I have those 3 not making the merge. And I think our green tribe will be the tribe that faces tribal council first, with either Kevin or Mary going out. Players I really like is Charity, Kyle, I do like Sheen, I do like Cedric, and I'm high on Stephanie. So who's my final 4 and winner pick? Well, this will probably change for sure by the time the season starts, but here's what I have. Final 4 is Charity, Kyle, Shaheen, and Stephanie. And right now I'm leaning towards Charity possibly being my USB. Okay, there it is, written in stone. And of course, as usual, Stacy can count me in on the side challenge. And until next time, this is Jeremiah from Southern California.
Awesome. So I got Stephanie as possible first out. He's got her as a possible USB. I've got Kevin as my possible USB. He's got Kevin as one of the first outs. It's typical between Jeremiah and I. Good stuff. Thanks, Jeremiah. Next up, we got a call from Jen.
Hi, everyone. This is Jen in California. And here are my thoughts on the cast of Survivor 48. Right off the bat, I'm seeing that my strategy of choosing the Best Smile Award as a means of picking my winners is not going to work because every single person on this cast has a fantastic smile. So by that strategy, they're all going to win. So that's not going to work. I'm going to have to delve a little deeper. Fortunately, I was able to listen to Joanne and Stacy's initial JABBIC show, so I've got a little bit more information. As you went along describing each of the players, I either put a green circle around their picture or I put a red X. And when all was said and done, I had exactly 4 green circles around 4 pictures. And those pictures were for Charity, Shaheen, Cedric, and Kevin. So from those 4, that's who I'm going to choose my USB. It will be one of those 4. And I think I'm leaning towards Cedric or Kevin. I remember liking your initial comments about Cedric and Kevin, the fact that he loves escape rooms. I love escape rooms, and I think that they are a good training ground for grace and skill under pressure. So
Bingo.
Kevin
There you
is
go.
probably my front runner right now. I think my first out is going to be Thomas, and the reason I'm going to choose him is you were saying that he was commenting that he's just too soft for this game. He just doesn't think he can cut it. Why did you apply? Or maybe you didn't apply, maybe you were recruited, but
Yeah.
at any rate, why would you even agree to come out here? I feel kind of like Thomas is a waste of a spot. I know you need all types to fill out this whole Survivor roster, but the person who comes out and says, I don't think me and my body are up for this, I say just pass on by those ones. And for that reason, I'm going to hopefully be right about Thomas being voted first out because I just don't know that I'm going to enjoy watching him. I want to see people out there who are hungry for the win. I have to make a comment on Mitch. When you talked about him, I totally expected you to say, Mitch, the oldest person on the whole season. I thought he was in his 60s by the look of his cast picture. Seriously, I'm zooming it in right now, and I can see that the shaved sides of his head are actually shaved sides of his head, but I initially saw those as gray hair. And I was thinking to myself, why are you saying Chrissy's the oldest person on this season? Mitch easily is going to outdo her. I'm still kind of reeling over that. And I would say, though, that now that you've described him, Mitch gets my honorable mention. He probably was the number 5 in my top 4. So I'm hoping that he can do well. David and Kyle, I also think are people who are going to do well on the season. I don't think Eva, Mary, or Sai are going to do very well. And based on my thoughts right now, I think a man is going to win the season. I really do. I think that this is a man's season to win. There's been a lot of women winning lately. The pendulum has to swing back if we're just playing the odds. So we shall see. Looking forward to hearing what other fans have to say on their first impressions. I'm excited to start season 48 and see where it takes us. Till next week.
Excellent. Thanks, Jen.
I kind of thought a little bit that way when I saw Mitch's picture, but then when you look at the some of the pictures where it shows their full body and all, I thought, oh no, and he looks like he's in good shape too.
Yeah. Yep.
I think he'll do well in the challenges. So, whereas I had kind of discounted it as, oh, he's a small man, he's not going to be as strong. I think I already revised that. I thought, no, I think he's very kind of wiry and strong. I think he's going to be one of those kind of people.
Mm-hmm. I think the only way he gets jammed up in a challenge is if it's something that requires
quick communication.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if the, being all amped up and the adrenaline flowing and all that, it might make his speech impediment a little more harder to get past.
Well, hopefully he'll form some relationships that, people will be able to tell.
Right. And so that they can help balance each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know when my stepfather had a brain injury and he wasn't able to, always get words out, or he would say wrong words or this or that. But I learned, I knew exactly what he was saying.
Right.
Even though I was saying the wrong words, I knew exactly what he was saying and what he meant, and I knew that he knew what he meant. And so I didn't really have a big issue with that.
Yeah, if his tribe is, comes together and is able to provide that.
Together. Yeah, I think that could work.
Then he'll excel. Yeah. And if not, it'll be that much harder for him for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. That's funny. Thought he was in his 60s.
I didn't think that.
Yeah. Good stuff. Thanks, Jen. Next up, we got an email from Josh, the Plush Moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacy, here in the Northeast, we've been dealing with a conveyor belt of winter storms and bitter cold. Mm-hmm. So finding JABBIC Part 1 in my podcast queue was a welcome diversion. I didn't have the time to cast a broad research net, but I think I've done enough to inflict some Joshian damage into the proceedings. Here goes nothing. My other observations. I predict that either Joe or Chrissy will be the final co-host of the On Fire podcast, and then it'll get snuffed.
Okay.
Wow, that was way left field. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to be wondering how that tracks this whole time I'm reading. I'm depending on Justin's product knowledge to tell us how bad Survivor Pizza is. That would be awesome if he gets to critique it. If there's a coffee reward, please let Kevin lose. I think he'll combust if caffeinated. Cedric's surgical specialty will make him the butt of many bad jokes.
Yes, I'm sure
Yes,
it will.
sure.
Josh.
All right. Yeah, and you went there right out of the gate. Didn't hesitate. With the inclusion of David, Survivor has literally used stunt casting. Whoa, you're on a roll. That's like 2 dad jokes in a row. Mary worked at a crisis hotline. Was she cast to talk players out of quitting? Interesting. So she's got this hidden production value. David is a stuntman who also flies planes. If I'm a passenger, I don't want my pilot to jump out of the plane just because he can. Cy has been hit by a bus. Compared to that, getting thrown under one is an improvement. My audio impression of Stephanie was the Kool-Aid man bursting through a wall. Flight attendant Charity hopes to soar into the final 3. Mitch's stutter won't do him any favors in the social game and may goat him to the end. Okay, that is a possibility. In the preseason, everyone talked about beard guy Shaheen. He should have lowered his threat level by shaving. Yeah, you don't want to have him get nailed by his charisma the way Caleb was, right? Mm-hmm. Charity lost 100 pounds. She probably won't want any dead weight on her tribe. Which professions will get tagged as too scary this season since there aren't any hairdressers around? Shaheen's chances of winning are debatable. For the debate professor, okay.
Yes.
Kevin modeled for Abercrombie. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mactor version 2.0.
See, I said Mactor, and you said, well, not really. He's not a model.
Well, that was for Cy that we had that conversation. It wasn't Kevin. But
No, it wasn't Cy.
That's where we had the conversation.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, all right.
We'll have to agree to disagree.
For Christmas, my family gave me a dad joke a day calendar. Be afraid.
Woo-hoo.
Be very afraid. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thanks, Joanna, Stacy, for all you do. I can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Welcome back, everybody. Stay safe. Thanks, Josh. Great job. Hit it out of the park. Next up, we got a call from Paul.
Hey, Paul, Louisiana here, and it's good to be back. I've watched an 18-minute video where all the players tell a little bit about themselves, and I've listened to Joanne and Stacy's thoughts, which leaves me with a lot to say. So, Charity starts things off nicely for me because I do like her. She appears to be determined, and I admire her willpower. A possible USB. As for Chrissy, I liked her picture, but I'm tired of the whole I'm going to be the mom of the tribe gambit, so I'm going to pass. And David just rubbed me the wrong way because I've got the feeling that he's just in love with himself and will definitely be the leader of Siva. He'll surely make the merge, though, but be voted off right afterward. Kamala, well, I like her because she's a coder, but she called herself annoying, which you probably shouldn't brag about. And she seems a bit like Teeny Part 2 to me. And look who's up next. Now, Stacy, I had exactly the same read on Kyle. I simply wrote down stereotypical and the word but he'll merge. Now, Mitch is a big question mark to me. He's got a lot to offer, and I really hate to say it, but the tribe may grate on his nerves while he grates on theirs. I'd love to see him get deep in the game, and his physicality might just allow him to do that, so I'm going to say merge. And Bianca, well, simply put, Bianca just talked too much for me. I wanted to tell her to shut up, but there's even worse coming. No merge. However, worse is not Eva, even though she was another for me. I just don't see her bringing much to the game, so yeah, again, no merge. On the other hand, there's Joe. He won't win, but he'll definitely get to the merge. To me, he's a more refined version of David over there on Siva. I have a feeling he'll be a top USB pick, but just not for me. So, let's talk about Shaheen. He is something else. Yeah, he's gonna merge. He's a walking contradiction, but he's got that look and that smile. But I've got to admit, I'm jealous of his beard. I liked him the minute I saw him, so he's gonna be another possible USB for me. Then we have Star, who just talked too fast and too much for me. Her mouth is like a hummingbird's wings, never stopping and flapping, flapping, flapping. I don't think she'll get along with Bianca, and vice versa. They'll grate on each other's nerves, and one of these two is going to be my first to-go pick. And Thomas just seems to want to prove something to himself, even though I don't believe he has the means to do it. I'm starting to think that Joe and Shaheen are going to end up voting all the other loggies off before the merge. Meanwhile, over on Vula, Cedric rubbed me the right way. He's going to merge and go deep. Now, is it me, or is his picture an odd cross between RuPaul and Lance Reddick? In the end, I'm going to say it reminds me of Lance, because Cedric is a possible USB for me. And I've got a big fat no to Justin. When he said he was the manager of an Italian restaurant and they showed his pizza place, I just shook my head. But his looks bother me as well, and I am not jealous of his hair, even though I'm essentially bald. So, whatever. No merge. And I'm sorry, but Kevin didn't do it for me either. Another player who's worried about his looks. Then I wanted to like Mary, but she exudes chaos, much like Kevin. I'm saying no merge because those two need to be split up. But then there's Sai, who I really like the looks of, and I see that I had a USB star in front of her name, but then scribbled it out. So she was a contender at one point. I'll say merge, but no win. And lastly, there's Stephanie, and I think she's going to be bossy, almost like a Natalie on David versus Goliath. Well, maybe not that bad, but maybe close? I wonder if Stephanie brought a jacket to take home with her before the merge. So then, to wrap this up, my choices for USB are currently between Cedric, Charity, and Sheehan. And my first to go is Bianca, because Star will be more useful in challenges. And that's my take. Everyone enjoy the show? Bye.
Excellent. Thanks, Paul. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, I actually know what he's talking about with Cedric, because I really considered Cedric, and he's still in the back of my mind too. The only reason...
If he wasn't a surgeon...
Exactly. That was the reason, is that he says he's not going to hide that. And I believe people will go, surgeon, he doesn't need the money,
right,
even though they're not supposed to. Supposed to go on gameplay, all of that.
It's up to the jury to decide how they're going to decide.
It is.
They can do that.
But typically, they'll go, oh, he doesn't need, we're not giving a surgeon $1 million. He doesn't need it. And that's not always necessarily true. But, that's just the way people think. That's the only reason I didn't, because I really like him. And I like his personality. I think he's going to be well liked.
It's Jeremiah, right, that was talking about the overall age of the cast? That this is a generally older cast, and so they've got more life experience. They understand what it means to, and some of them, because of their professions, have taken on a lot of debt, which you assume Cedric did, to get through all that schooling,
Definitely.
all that work that he had to put in to get to the point where he could be a surgeon. So maybe they'll have a different perspective on that. And, with a different understanding, look at it through a different lens.
See, and I kind of thought Justin and Cedric might gel, because
they got that chill, even keel thing.
Yes, and they're both intelligent, very intelligent. There's a lot of, that's why I call the Green Tribe the brains.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know, Kevin's energy for me is just a little too out there, and Mary could get chaotic, but she also, being a counselor, might be able to relate to Cedric and Justin. So, but I kept thinking they'd keep Kevin at least for his strength. That's why I thought other people might be
for sure
more easily voted off.
Yeah.
And because I'm not sure quite how strong the tribe is yet.
That's the thing. They've got people who very likely can handle the puzzles at the end, but can they get to the end to do the puzzle? Because there's some extreme physical things when they've got to move something heavy a long distance, or move it up one of the ramps to the, when the end puzzle is up on one of the high platforms and they've got to pull everybody up there, or pull all the chest with the puzzle pieces up there. Is this tribe really going to be able to do that?
I think Justin's very strong, or he said he works out.
Yeah.
But
that he has a lot of functional strength.
Yes. And Kevin, even Cedric, I think he could be in pretty good shape. So...
Well, I think what we know about surgeons is they have to be very careful about their hands. And so he's going to be very guarded because that's where the magic is.
Yep.
You know, between the
would be
knowledge
too.
and his ability to work inside of someone, and that's exactly where Cedric works.
Yeah, I agree. And but I don't know how strong the girls on that tribe's going to be. They just
None of them exude strength.
they didn't to me. I mean, we could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
Because
First impression is there's no big strength there. There's no powerhouse women on the Vula tribe.
I really like what everybody had to say.
I enjoyed all that. Yeah,
Now I
all the
want to go
analysis.
back through again and. Now that I have a little, you're so rushed when we're trying to get ready for JABBIC that, I don't feel like I get to, I haven't watched all of the interview stuff. And so I'd like to maybe go back if I have time.
Absolutely appreciate all the extra perspectives and different looks. We deeply appreciate, and we want to thank everybody who took the time to send in your thoughts about the new season here, what Survivor 48 may hold for us, and then how you see the cast, and giving us some new insights for looking at each one of them and being able to make choices for the fantasy league that we run here,
Yes,
JSFL.
that's very important.
We also would like to thank Christy, Erica, Hazel, Hope, Kim, and Tara for your continued subscription donations. Thank you so much. That helps with the operational cost. And we've had those for 20 years now. Even when we're not podcasting, we got to pay those bills every month. And that's what makes it possible for other people to find every single episode that we've ever put out. So we deeply appreciate those of you who are able to help the podcast financially like that. Thank you so much.
And if you would like to play in our fantasy league and are new to JSFL, you need to register before the deadline of 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific Time on February 26th, which is next Wednesday, in order to play this season. Registration will be closed for the entire season at that time. So, and also I would say be sure to read the official rules that's listed on the website.
There's not a whole lot to read.
No, but it
not
is
overwhelming.
helpful to understand things. So. And if you don't remember your information, a lot of times people say, I don't remember. Well, you're better off to just go ahead and re-register. And eventually your old information, after the first 3 consecutive weeks without any pics being posted, it will just, the website will delete that.
Everyone's who's playing in the fantasy league is gonna need to select a USB 24. That stands for Ultimate Survivor Bonus, and that's the person you think is gonna win the season. And you get 24 points if you get that right. I know there's not a lot to go on. That's why it's worth a lot of points if you do get it. And yes, there's a lot of luck involved. Be sure to hit the submit button when you make that choice, and when you're making all your picks, always double check to make sure that they went through. Your USB will show up as bold in the picks page. So there's 2 pages, one page to go and select your USB, another page to make your weekly pick. And so once you select your USB, then on your picks page, that person's name will be highlighted in bold.
Yeah, that's a good way to double check that you actually selected and remembered to hit submit, because that does happen every season, that some people don't have one who think they do.
You'll also need to choose who you think will be voted off first, and that's actually worth 2 points instead of the weekly 1 point that's awarded for that for the first episode. And then for the castaways that you think will be still in the game after the 2-hour premiere episode ends, again, hitting submit. If there are 2 voted off, we will still score only the first off.
Yeah, the first one. So,
yeah. And if you want to get in on this side challenge that you've heard us mention with me, and where you have to sing if you lose, it's not so much you win something. If you finish with the highest score, it's like, don't finish with the lowest score, because you'll owe us a song if you do. If you want to take that on and be in the side challenge, then you'll need to send us an email. We've got several people who you heard them say as we went through the episode today, they want to be on the side challenge. Other people have already let us know that they want to be in too. But you'll need to send an email to joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com saying, hey, I want to get in on this side challenge.
And that has to be in before the deadline as well.
Mm-hmm.
No thank you.
Yeah, it can be stressful for some people knowing what's on the line there.
So far we have Drew, Jeremiah, Justin, Parker, and Stacy.
Yeah. So looking forward to having some more people join. And speaking of that, and speaking of losing the side challenge, last season Anderson joined it. He's very brave, one of our youngest super fans here in the show. And he ended up scoring the lowest. So he owed us a parody song based on the events of season 47. And that song that he had to craft the new lyrics for was Taking Care of Business by Bachman Turner Overdrive BTO. And that song was chosen by Robert, who scored the highest in our side challenge. So without further ado, we're going to share with you Anderson's parody song for season 47. Here we go.
Get up every morning, grab your touch and your vendetta. Out on the island, yeah, you're starving, but you're trying to find advantage. Ain't no time to pay, keep up the pace, the race. You know it's all about the price. I hate the underdog alliance to save. Taking care of survivor, sorry, stall. Taking care of survivor, and playing the fall. Show about betrayal, backstabbing sessions, and your extra voting, your pocket's confession. In the jungle, you'll be hustling, salmon, and deformulating plans. Maybe not hitting somewhere, but watch out for the twist, man. You make it swap the words at your own funeral. Try to fake a friendship, but it's more about who you got. Taking care of survivor, sorry, style. Taking care of survivor, Jen planned this fall. Neck and neck, what the heck, drunk genie filling all the beans. He's playing hard, he's playing smart, alliance is breaking apart. You're counting on your social game, but do you know who's here to claim? Fire's burning, travel time, crossing your fingers, hope it's fine. Maybe you have flavors, this can you survive, in the end it's all the way. Winning challenges, tired or lying low, taking out the stress, they watching go. You're making moves like Operation Italy, explaining you came too early like Andy. Taking care of survivor, sorry song. Taking care of survivor, Jim played the song. It's final travel, get your picture. Hope they like your story, Sam. Hope they listen. Taking care of survivor, 47. It's all about the fun, like Rome falling in the well. Taking care of survivor. Who's left in the game? Rachel. Hope you'll be the one to yell, I won the game. Taking care of survivor, 47. Taking care of survivor, 47. Taking care of survivor, sorry song. Taking care of survivor, just let it fall.
All right.
All right. Great job, Anderson.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I caught several references to things going on in Project Italy and Kyle winning all the challenges. And so, yeah, you did a great job. I didn't get all the lyrics. It's hard for the voicemail. He used the voicemail when he called in like that. But
well, it's a fast song.
Yeah, and it is a fast song too. But
yeah, there were.
You get up every morning, grab your torch and your bandana out on the island where you're starving, all that. Survivor.
But you're trying to be thriving.
Yeah.
I like it.
Good stuff. So I have a confession, Anderson. I did not think that you were going to get that done. And I said that to Joanne.
And Joanne said, yes, he will.
Yes, she did. And I was telling her as we were getting stuff ready this week, look, I don't think he's going to make it. I think it might have been too much for him. And I had been in touch. I had been sending you emails right after the last season ended saying, hey, let me know if you need any help. And I didn't hear back. And I did that a couple more times. And
you thought he needed you.
No. I didn't want him to be overwhelmed. And then this comes in and I'm listening to all those lyrics. I can tell the excellent, supreme amount of effort that goes into that. Having lost side challenges before myself, I know
multiple times, yes.
I know what it's like to work, to go back through the season and try to come up with lyrics that'll fit like that. So I am so impressed. You just did fantastic.
Well,
Thank you for delivering on your debt, Anderson. And your debt is paid in full.
I hope he enjoyed doing that as much as you do.
Yeah.
Because you really do actually enjoy it.
Yes.
It's fun.
It is.
You're like, oh, no, I
That
have to do this.
creativity,
But then you get in there and it's just, it's awesome. There's all this stuff that you can put into it, from the season.
Yes.
So, excellent
Gets
job,
the creative
Anderson.
juices flowing. You did supreme. Way to go. You just knocked it out of the park. I'm so impressed. We'd love to have some more people come join the side challenge if you can deliver. If things don't go your way, if it turns out you're not so good at figuring out who's going to get voted out each week and you end up with that low score at the end of the season, you too could have to deliver a parody song. So there's pros and cons. It adds an extra level of tension.
Chance you take.
Yeah, it adds an extra level of tension each week.
Not do it.
Yes, for some people, they don't need the added stress.
Well, and for some people, it gets very stressful.
Mhm.
We've had people do it once and go, never again.
Right.
Oh,
And
that's so
had the
stressful.
adults sign up and then not be able to deliver that song, too.
That's
So
right.
even more impressive. Thank you, Anderson. Good job, buddy.
All right. Well, I'm really excited for our 2-hour premiere on Wednesday. Aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, looking forward to doing the
2
recap.
hours.
Yep. And we'll get a recap after that, and then we'll follow that up a week from today with another listener feedback show.
Even though it does put us out quite a bit later than we
Yes,
used to.
it does. With being here on the East Coast and
Yeah.
watching on East Coast time, and then it
Yep.
being 2 hours, and then it takes us a little bit of time to put together the recaps, even though we usually get them out on Wednesday night. Sometimes it'll roll over a little bit into Tuesday morning,
Especially now,
before we get them published. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, excited. You guys got us pumped up for this cast. I hope everybody's looking forward to it. I hope we have another great season, and we'll get together and we'll talk about our favorite show. How couldn't be any better than that. So we look forward to that, and looking forward to you joining us with the next listener feedback shows.
Yep, and welcome back, everybody. Good to hear from you.
Have a good one.